Good morning, guys. Man, what time is it? It's 2:39 in the morning. I think I can take off driving about 3 this morning, so I'm already awake. I've been up since 1 something or 2 something, I don't know. This is getting to be a spiraling thing. I'm trying to get my glasses cleaned here. Getting up earlier and earlier. Let me turn on another light here. It kind of look like my eyes were kind of dark looking. They might be. Getting up too daggum early. But I just magically wake up with no alarm. And I'm like, ready to go. Let's get after it. I think I went to bed. Shoot, it was probably just a little after 7. Maybe even before then. I don't really recall if I watched anybody live at 7 yesterday or not. But anyways, I'm gonna get my boots on, run into the store here. I'm in Stringtown. This is where I stopped at last night. I'm gonna run in here and get some coffee. Be right back. Now I'm ready to go inside. Give me some coffee. Kind of dark out here. The Old Dominion. Look at this. The place is hopping at night. They got half the lot tore up over there. Looks like people been driving all over the grass. Got it all down to dirt pretty much. A lot of sleeping trucks. Anyways, I'll go get some coffee. Be right back. Alright, got my coffee. Got a little mug. A little Oklahoma mug. Might do a giveaway with that. Anyways, let me get back out here to the truck and chit chat for a little bit. Alright, see you. Yay, we're back in the truck. Let's see, do I got anything in my pockets? It's not real cold out there today, but it was kind of chilly. But I just took this little tripod thing and stuck it in my pocket of my coat. That worked pretty good. I don't know about this hat. I like it. It feels like a little much. So anyways, got me a little coffee cake and got a Oklahoma mug here, Okla, from the Choctaw travel stop. Made in China, hand wash only. So anyways, got my coffee. That's most important. So anyways, how's your all's day doing so far today? I know you're probably just waking up, just like me, but hopefully you're not awake at this time of morning. Let's see. Let me take this jacket off. It's a little bit mush. Little much. It's a little bit mush. It is 2:59. So, man, that took a good bit just to go in there and get coffee. I forget what time I said it was earlier in this video. If it's good, you know you ain't supposed to have it. That's got a lot of sugar on it. I'm probably really not supposed to have this. We'll see though. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do when I get home. But today is Friday, right? I think. Yeah, it's Friday. I got paid. So I got paid bills out of this check. Like virtually the whole check is going on bills. I guess. I don't know. I feel like I need to build up my credit. So I guess I'm going to have to, when I get home, I'll give me one of them daggum credit cards. I hate to do it, but at the same time, it's not like it's really going to cost me anything. I'll just use it to, you know, for my purchases and stuff, and then pay it off instead of carrying a balance on it. And from what I understand, that's supposed to help build your credit quick. I don't know. So I need to get that credit score up, make it look better. I don't know. I almost hate to get a cheaper tractor. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. All I know is I definitely need a tractor with some pallet forks or something. Something to do the heavy lifting. I mean, I had the opportunity to get a tractor for $4,500. The only problem is there's probably going to be another $4,000 or $5,000. I don't know how much tires are going to cost for it, but I know they ain't cheap. They're probably going to be $1,000 a tire. I don't know. I know those tractor tires are very expensive. And that tractor for $4,500 needs all new tires on it. They're dry rotted. And if I'm going to be picking up logs and pulling and all that kind of stuff, I need to get new tires on it, because I imagine the first time I'd even try to pick up a log, it's probably going to blow those tires out on the front end. So I'm guessing there's probably, you buy a tractor for $4,500, and then you got to get a starter for it, and then the wiring, and then tires, and then I have to also get the pallet forks. I don't think it's worth it. That ends up being over 10 grand. So I don't know. Maybe I can go down there when I get home, go down there to that tractor place and maybe see if I can get a used. No.
I didn't understand.
Well, you're not supposed to be listening to me. Freaking phone. Jeez. I don't know if I could get maybe a used tractor from them for a better price, a lesser amount. I don't know. I think me not having anything down, like not having a down payment, was probably a major factor. Like when I got the motorcycle, I put $500 down on it, so that was a pretty good amount on the bike. Now on a tractor, I probably need to put a couple thousand down on it, and that would probably help a lot. Trying to get a tractor, $34,000 for the tractor and implements and stuff with it. I wanted to get a backhoe attachment, but that was going to be a lot. It was going to be like another $10,000 or $12,000 on top of it, so I didn't opt for that. I was like, no, let's hold off on the backhoe attachment. I can come back, get that later. It'd be nice to have that for that counterbalance on the tractor, right? So we didn't even try to get the loan for that. And I could go down. Well, I think my best option is actually just go down to the credit union and see if I can get a loan through them, because sometimes those the loan places through the dealerships, they like to play games with you and stuff. So I can go down to the credit union and they might actually help me, and it might be a better rate too. So I don't know. I've had some bad experience with that credit union. I did have some personal experience with them where they closed out my account because my account was inactive, but I had, let's say about $150 in that account. And it's like, why do I have to either put money in or take money out every month? Why can't it just sit there and accrue interest? No, they just decided to steal my money. They closed my account out because it was inactive, and apparently they didn't send me a message. normally they would send me an email or something saying, hey, your account's been inactive for 30 days. You need to, either make a deposit or take money out or something, or we're going to close it out. And I'm like, why in the hell are they doing this, Freaking banks and credit unions, they toil around with you. It's like, why can't my money just sit there and gain interest, right? Why not? You got to be alive. What that is so that if you die, they can take your money and no one gets it. Your family don't get it. The bank steals it. That's my take on it. But anyways, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that's what I might do today. I'll have to see what my wife is doing. On stuff like that, I like to have her there because she's knowledgeable on a lot of that stuff. Kind of helps me keep from getting reamed by them. I just got to make sure I don't get reamed by my wife. Basically, I got to make sure she has no ties to any of my freaking accounts or anything. And that's another issue with that credit union, is why I don't put money in there. Because somehow my mother-in-law and father-in-law's accounts and my son, his account got tied to theirs or something. And so when one person's account is overdrawn, they take money out of someone else's account to put in out of my son's into Papa's account or something, or out of grandma's account into Papa's account because he overspends or something. It seems to be what I hear about pretty often. I'm like, how does a credit union get away with that crap? I've never heard of a bank doing something like that, That's crazy. That's plumb crazy. I get it with the instance with my wife's account and my mother-in-law's account. My mother-in-law is a co-signer on my wife's loan for her car, and apparently they'll take money out of my mother-in-law's account to pay for the car. I kind of get that, but the other stuff, Grandma and Papa's accounts are not tied together. Yes, they're married, but that doesn't give them any right to be like, oh, Papa overspent for pew-pew stuff, so we're going to take it out of Grandma's bill paying money. Then rent don't get paid that month or something because it shorted her on what she had in her account that she had, set in there, specifically for, paying a certain bill or whatnot. And I've seen that or heard about it multiple times now, and I'm like, So when they closed out my account, I was like, screw you then. I'm done. And I don't know. I've not had any troubles with my bank. It's just, I've never tried to get a loan through my bank. I don't know that they're that easy to get along with. The other thing is, a certain person that I used to work for is buddy with some people in that bank. And so I don't like to keep all my eggs in that basket, because they tend to talk. Or let's say if I was to get a loan for something, there's the buddy system, right? And whenever you start getting up in that realm in the world where you're starting to do things that make money, and other people in the world that make money, big money, it's hard to explain, but it is a thing. And they kind of watch and see what you're doing. They, small town kind of crap, but they, people will be like, hey, what's old so-and-so up to, and, oh yeah, it looks like he's doing pretty good. He's, and they bullshit talking about what you're doing, what you're up to, how you're making money or whatnot. Well, I was the talk of the town for a while because all I was doing was YouTube and sawmilling and stuff. And people drive by all the time and see I was home all the time and never gone to work or anything. They're like, man, how the hell's this guy making it? Working. working from home, and it started, I don't know, I started hearing people talking about me. One day I was down there at the local cafe, and you got the bullshitters table over there, and there's a couple guys over there, and they're sitting there talking about me. Not a freaking clue who I am, because I was sitting, me and my wife was sitting at the table right next to him, and one guy at that table actually knew who the hell I was, and they're sitting there talking about me. Yeah, that old boy down there, that sawmill, he's got that little trailer he hauls logs on. He only hauls one at a time, but I don't know how the hell he's staying afloat and paying for that house and all that equipment and everything. He only hauls one log at a time. And my wife, I wasn't even paying attention to what they were saying. My wife's like, they're talking about you. And I was like, so then I started listening, and that's what I heard, was that part. And then we went home. She started telling me all the other crap they were saying about me. I was like, really? And the one guy, I used to work with his brother, like he kind of knows me, and he's like, hey, trying to get their attention, I guess. Like, hey, he's sitting right freaking there. I almost spoke up and said, y'all talking about me with me right here? I can freaking hear you. I wanted to do that, but I was like, whatever. Now they know me. They know me pretty well, I guess, now, but back then they didn't know me from Adam, and that was kind of funny. It'd be sitting there, it's like, must be doing something right if I got people shit talking here in the local town. Like, they ain't got shit else to talk about but me. Oh well. That's that small town stuff. But the other stuff I was talking about is like these bankers and this other person I know that knows the person that, well, he doesn't know the person I'd be doing business with the sawmilling. He knows the person that this other person's doing. All right, so he knows the guy that owns Missouri Walnut, right? There's another company, it's called Ohio Log Traders, that's I think it's kind of like a sister company. Not real sure exactly how that works there, but there's like the log trader company on site, and then there's Missouri Walnut, same location. And one company got a hold of me wanting me to mill certain logs for them, just basically turn them into cants and then dry them. They need guys with kilns. They have all the kilns they can put on that property, from what I understand. What I was told by this person on the phone, this lady on the phone that had called me about it, from that log trader company, she said, well, the thing is, like Missouri Walnut, the DNR won't let them put any more kilns on their property. So we need people in this area that can, we need another mill basically to, do a smaller run of logs, and this ain't just like a short-term thing. This is an ongoing, year to year to year thing. They would consider helping me get started up, but I was like, I don't really want to get into this percentage kind of game and in business with another corporation, and then basically it would give them some sort of rights to my property, and I live there, it's my house, and then that can conflict with my mortgage on the house and everything. I was like, I can have a business there, but I don't want a freaking business partner, because that starts bringing that just intermingles some other crap that I'm not that knowledgeable on, and I'd have to hire a lawyer to kind of protect my butt on that or something. I don't want to start up a business with someone else being able to tell me how to run my business, because that's where things get stupid. All right. Because someone else can think that things should be ran a certain way, and that you need to be doing X number of board feet, a day, or, whatever. No, I don't know. I want the autonomy, to be able to do what I want and not have to do business just for them. That's another thing. They could be like, well, you only do business with us instead. Because if I'm, completely, self-reliant, whatever, it's just me, myself, and I, then I can do business with other mills around the area or whatever, or other loggers. I've had several loggers come in and want to sell me logs, so that could actually be another part of the business too. So I don't want to shoot myself in the foot on something like that, where some local landowners could be like, hey, can I sell you some logs? And I could buy, right? Well, if I got a business partner that's a big corporation that, they have lawyers on hand, and they can sit there and kind of force your hand on things and tell you what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. I don't want that. I want to have that where when I'm sitting at the table, I can be like, I don't think so, Tim. We're not going to do it like that. I want to be able to do that. Otherwise, you just kind of get pushed around. I don't want to be pushed around by some big dog. I won't be the big dog, So anyways, I don't know. I probably shouldn't talk too much about business stuff on here, but that's kind of part of it. Let's see what this turns into. It could take years. It could take months to get it going, but it's not easy to start up a business. And with where I'm at right now, the things I have, I've gotten a lot of comments over in the past from people. It's like, must be nice to have a mill. Must be nice to have, this or that, and like a nice house. Or it's like, I didn't always have that. I literally was renting a little single wide mobile home. That's what I lived in before I bought this house. I lived there in that trailer park for a while. Then I lived in another trailer park before that for years and years and years, because I lost a house that I was buying. Back when my oldest son, who's now 19, he was just an infant. So about 19 years ago, I lost my house, the first one I was trying to buy. That was back when my older brother died. So yeah, it's like 18, 19 years ago when my older brother passed away from suicide. And I know some of you know that already, and some of you probably don't. So hopefully I wasn't just now breaking the news to you. But anyways, that happened many, many years ago. And, and that still affects me today. Like, there's times when March rolls around, that's when my brother passed away. And, sometimes that, sometimes I don't think about it. Sometimes I do. Sometimes it just hits me like a ton of bricks. But anyways, so my brother is actually a big part of me pushing myself to do these things. Because before, I was never the type of person that would, be like, I'm that guy. I'm going to be that business guy. I'm going to get me a mill. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Or, like the semi-truck, having my own trucking company. I actually did that because my brother told me I couldn't and that I wouldn't. He said, you'll never be anything. You'll never make anything of yourself or whatever. You're not ever going to own your own truck or your own trucking company. He's like, you're just blowing smoke and all this and that. I'm like, all right, well, you say that, and a lot of you guys might even say that about me or whatever, like, oh, you're just all talk and all bullshit or whatever. Well, no, I'm not. And I don't know, I'm just a normal Joe. that, I happen to be a truck driver right now. I've been a truck driver for many, many years. I've always kind of had a side hustle, and, or always trying to like plan out, figure out how to get a side hustle going. Started off, I guess, really with the woodworking, and, I started playing around with YouTube about 13, 14 years ago, something like that. I'm not real sure exactly what year it was. I want to say it was 2011 or 2012 when I dropped my first video on YouTube. So technically I've been, I guess, a YouTuber since then. I was just kind of tinkering around with it. I didn't even know how to put 2 video clips together back when I started doing that. I was like, I don't know how to piece videos together. My son was like, it's easy, and he never really showed me. But I had him literally over my shoulder holding a phone like this, watching me run a reloader, and that was the first video. It's still on my channel. And I did all kinds of videos like that, showing how to do things pertaining to that and everything. And then YouTube said I couldn't have that kind of content, so I ended up deleting everything but the very first video, and I made it private for a very long time. And then YouTube kind of changed their rules a little bit, and so I was able to make that video public again and monetize it, and it pays a tiny little bit, probably a couple pennies, but I don't know. I don't even know if it even makes any pennies anymore, really. But it's kind of cool, to go back and see that video and be like, that was a long time ago. This is kind of sort of where I come from. Where I came from, I was working at a welding shop and, doing construction, like red iron steel building work, building, elevator shafts, stairwells, things like that, of that nature, all over the country, driving around, hauling steel to places to build these things and whatnot. So I still had to have a CDL for that. And, like companies like CFI don't really recognize that as like over the road or CDL stuff or whatever. I don't know. And that's the only, well, I should actually be making top pay from what the lady told me. I need to actually call them and say, hey, what's up with this? Give me that other like 5 cents a mile or whatever it is. And I may be making that. I just haven't ever really figured it up. I was like looking at how many miles I think I'm running. I could look at it on my phone probably, and I would know. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked here. So I started off really kind of at the bottom of the barrel, rock bottom, and kind of just worked hard, worked my way up. I was working for a guy for his paint company, and I was supposed to be driving for him. He said he was going to buy me a truck, and then several years later, I was like, hey, when are you getting a truck, for me to drive? I mean, I did drive a truck for him, but not like consistently. It was, every now and then we were doing painting and sandblasting, and I had to drive. It was a 99 Peterbilt cab over, and I pulled a blast rig, a sandblasting rig, that was on a step deck flatbed. Pulled that around from job site to job site. It wasn't over the road, it wasn't an everyday thing, but I still had to have my CDL because he needed a driver to drive it, right? So pretty much every job I've had since I got my CDL back in 99, I've had to, every job I've had to have my CDL. So I was working for that guy, and I started running a trucking company for him, pulling hopper bottom. It was just 2 trucks, and then we also had the trucks at the rail spur and that whole deal. So it kind of got him set up, getting everything legal, and running that trucking company, and that was those trucks at that spur was that part of that also. So technically, I guess there's 4 trucks. I don't know, but I quit working for him. I went to work for CEI, pulling reefer and tanker for them. And about a year later, he called me up, wanting to sell me a truck. And I think what it was, he actually knew there was something wrong with it, and that's why he was getting rid of it. And I was kind of stupid. I was like, well, it's a dumb idea. It's a dumb move to spend that kind of money on a semi. And it was like $1,200 a month for the truck, which was a stupid amount. I should have actually got it for less than that. But I didn't even try to shoot him down on the price or anything, or, knock that price down. Just went for it. I was like, all right, 50 grand for a semi that's worth like 16. All right, let's do it. This is my chance to get into owning my own trucking company. But, I was like, the only way I'm going to do this is if you, finance me on the truck and the trailer and help me get my own authority. You're going to pay for it all. And technically I was paying for it all. It was a lot of money. And then I found myself about 6 years later still owing about 21,000, 22,000, something like that on the truck. I almost had the trailer paid off, years before that, and was behind. And basically, I ended up giving him the trailer back because the motor had blown in the truck, and I needed another motor, or I was just going to give him the truck back and say, well, I'm sorry, but the motor blew up. I could have stuck him with it, And of course he would have, probably tried to sue me for it and everything, but he probably wouldn't have been successful, because I was like 2 or 3 months, I think, into buying that. And I was paying a lot on the trailer, trying to get it knocked out so I wouldn't have that. The trailer payment was like $1,500 a month, and it was, I think, about 21,000, I think, is what I was paying for that trailer, which that was stupid too. That he didn't pay nowhere near that for that trailer, but I didn't know what he paid for the trailer. I knew what he paid for the truck when he bought it, and I was paying way too much. He paid around $18,000 for that truck when he got it, and I was paying $50,000. So sometimes in order to get into business and make big money, you just have to bite the bullet and agree, to pay big money, right? And yeah, that guy made a lot of money off me. It was a good business deal on his part and on my part. I got into owning my own trucking company, and I busted my ass, and I made really good money. And it actually allowed me to see the numbers, like how much a truck makes. And I know a lot of people's like, man, you've been an owner operator. How can you go and drive a truck for somebody knowing what it pays? I'm like, well, it ain't that much different, to be honest. Like, if you're running your trucking company the way you should be, you're making the same amount. You need to pay yourself as a driver, or you need to pay a driver. All right. What the company like this right here, like what CFI pays me, and the rest of it goes on the truck. It goes into the business, all the overhead and everything. But yeah, I mean, as a residual from that, you get to get like new computers and tablets and blah, blah, blah. It pays for like internet and stuff at your house, because that's part of the business expense and everything, because you are running a trucking company. And, I think a lot of people don't really see that. I mean, sure, you get those little kind of benefits of running that company. You get the added benefit of you got internet at your house that's paid for by the company and all this kind of stuff, right? So yeah, I mean, I just kind of worked my way up like that, and I don't consider myself any different than anybody else out there. And when I get these comments from people, they're like, oh, it must be nice to have this, or it must be nice you got that. And it's like, I've just made decisions in my life that kind of, changes my course, and, maybe different from other people. Some people never choose to take the risk. And that kind of comes back to, like, you wouldn't believe how many freaking messages I've gotten. Holy cow. There's like people, I don't even know who the hell they are, sending me messages on Instagram. I'm like, and they're like, you don't need to be buying a tractor and all that. I've been watching your channel for so long, and you're doing the stupidest move if you get a tractor and all. I'm like, where are you sitting right now? I don't know nothing about these people at all. I've never talked to them before, and they're ranting and raving on me, like telling me that I don't need to be investing in a company so that I can hire people and have employees. How do you think, like, if you have a job, an employer that you work for, how do you think they got where they are? How do you think you have a job? Somebody, the person owning that company, most likely busted their butt. They took a chance. I mean, yeah, there's a few people in the world that, grew up in a wealthy family, but, like their parents or grandparents or somebody worked their ass off, and they bit the bullet, and they, instead of, having Starbucks every morning or coffee every morning, maybe they bit the bullet and said, no, I ain't having coffee this morning. I'm going to save that money. And eventually they used it for, some business thing. And they made decisions to start up a business and hire people. And I have somehow found myself in that position where it's like, okay, I got people calling my phone. Right here. People call my phone asking if I'm hiring because I created a business called Hood's Custom Milling, or Hood's Custom Sawmilling, and another one, Hood's Custom Woodworking. I don't have a big shop necessarily to hire people to work for me doing woodworking. And I don't think I really want to do that. I mean, it kind of depends on if I found or came across the right person that was just really good at woodworking, and I could, trust them around my place. I might actually build a shop. As it is right now, with my woodworking stuff being in my house, I'm not hiring someone to do the woodworking. So I would have to build a shop somewhere there on the property to be able to have a wood shop for a person or two, to work for me. But I'll tell you what, that side of stuff right there is really hard to make money if you have employees. Could it work? Sure, it could. There's a lot of things I would have to put in place, and equipment I'd have to buy, and I think a lot of these people who message me don't understand business, or they probably understand business, but I don't think they understand how a business gets started. A lot of businesses nowadays, yeah, you kind of see it's like, oh, this big business that they had a lot of money from another business they had or whatever, and that's kind of how things happen. You have one business, you kind of learn the ropes, how taxes and everything works, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. Like, you got to put some, like those businesses, they got to put money in, they got to feed that business. They always, like, you make a profit, right? And then you got to put so much of that back into the company, or the government takes it from you. Okay. And so when we talk about write-offs, it's a tax write-off. That's basically you buy a piece of equipment or some expense for that business. You don't pay taxes on that because the government wants you to build your business bigger and to start other businesses and things that help grow the economy, which in turn, they do get taxes from you, but you're not paying taxes on certain things, and therefore, you building these businesses and everything, it actually helps the country. You're basically a business partner with the United States if you're in the United States or whatever country you might be in. So you got to kind of look at it like that. You're a business partner with them, and so if you invest in your company, and yeah, sure, you get those kind of residual, like, okay, I got a tractor on my property because I invested in my company, and therefore it's a tax write-off. You get to, on a piece of equipment like that, you get to depreciate, right? Which is a whole nother thing. I'm not even I don't fully understand. I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah. Eventually, you build that business to a point where it's running, it's got everything it needs, it's taking care of itself, and then you're piling money, and yeah, you're just making money hand over fist, right? And that's not always how it is, and a lot of times it's just that business is running just to pay the employees. But if you make a little bit off of it, the business keeps growing to a certain extent, and you're like, all right, let's start another company over here that maybe this company scratches this company's back, a sister company, right? Or maybe you might actually sell that to another company that you own, or I don't know, it gets complicated. Just different stuff like that. It's almost like trading cards. I see that with CFI being bought, and then like CFI buying companies and stuff. Just sometimes I sit there and go, why are they doing this? What's their angle? How does it benefit them? And sometimes with this, it's freight is what it is. But anyways, I don't know. I could sit here for hours talking about all this stuff. We're already at about 41 minutes I'm seeing here. And then I've got other video I got to piece in with this. So I guess I need to get off here and quit yakking. I need to get on down the road. Let's see what time it is now. It's 3:39. Yeah, so I need to hit the road, Jack, and yeah, we'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.